Today's quick singing tips is all about posture and alignment for singing. So I'm sure if someone said, "What's good posture for singing?" you would think, stand up straight. However, often when we stand up straight, we tend to tighten and become quite stiff. This is very static, so actually I want you to think about your alignment for singing. So what is alignment? Alignment is really how our body is in line, how our bones stack upon one another, their relationships to the joints, and how they hold us up. This allows us to have a sense of functional movement and freedom in the body. When we're singing, we don't want to feel stuck. We want to feel like we could move at any time, and we want to avoid any unnecessary tension. So let's do a bit of a body scan so you can see what your natural alignment is and just make you aware. One of the main things to improve your alignment is really body awareness. So bring your feet what feels hip width apart for you. Now don't put them to the outside of your hips. Really think about where your hip bones are and where your femurs, your thigh bones hang from the hips. And that will be about hip width for you. Keep a slight bend in the knees, a little bit of a bounce, and then just move your pelvis forwards and back. And then start to slow it down and just see what feels like you're neutral. We basically want to find the most tension-free posture that we can. Come to the abdominals, just check in. Do you naturally grip here? Trying to find as much release, just letting them work on their own as much as possible. Then come to your chest and your shoulders. Are you naturally a bit hunched? Are you trying to be open and broad? Just roll the shoulders and then let the arms just hang there.
It's very important when we're singing that we have good body posture and alignment. We don't want any unnecessary tension on our shoulders, our neck, or our throat. We want everything to be nice and open so that our bellies can breathe how they're supposed to, so we can sing well. The first thing to remember when it comes to posture for singing is to have the feet about shoulder width apart, facing forward, and knees slightly bent. Make sure you don't lock your knees because that can make you faint and even make you pass out. The second thing we want to remember when it comes to posture is to keep our shoulders straight right below the ears. We don't want to hunch forward like this, and we don't want to overextend like this. We just want to be nice and straight and relaxed. The third thing we want to remember with posture is we want to keep our chin straight forward. We don't want to look up like this, and we don't want to look down like this. We want to just stand straight and look straight ahead. The fourth and final thing you want to remember with posture is to keep the spine straight and relaxed. Think of someone pulling a string off the top of your head and lifting you straight up. We just want that nice, long, and lean stature. We don't want anything out of place or feeling uncomfortable. Just straight and relaxed.
One of the ways that I really like to help vocalists get into alignment is with a bow. So you lightly clasp your hands over the crown of your head. So notice it's neither too far back nor is it too far forward. It's right over the crown. Now a little bit of a pull on the hands will help to further laterally expand the rib cage. And by putting that tension in your hands, you'll also feel the muscles around the center of the back, near the shoulder blades. You'll feel those muscles engage ever so slightly, and that's going to help to keep that openness through the rib cage. But having this right here is really, really great for our alignment. You will notice that your shoulders lift up ever so slightly. However, it's different than that. They're not doing that. They're just coming upright. And when you've gotten accustomed to this, the thing to do is to practice singing with your hands up in this position, and then slowly bring them down while still maintaining that nice upright posture. Now let's talk about the head, neck, and the clavicle, or collarbone. Gently find the cartilage little in your ears. Just gently, gently, gently put your thumbs just on the outside. This is not, notice it's not the ear canal, just outside, and just pretend to lift upwards that way. And notice how it brings the chin ever so slightly down and the crown up. This gets us in a nice neutral head position, so we are neither too far down nor too far up, but right in this nice even position. One of the really great tools for working with our posture is a mirror, full length if possible, so that you can practice in front of your mirror and monitor your position at all times. Adopt the hands over the head, bring them down, and watch as your posture changes or doesn't. When you are singing, if you notice these sorts of things happening, get back into this position, sing a few exercises, and then notice the stability of it. Notice how the shoulders will remain nice and stable there, and then bring them down and try to recreate it. The key is to remember the physical experience of it. What does it feel like in your body when you're here singing? And then how do we practice so that we can stay the same? The memory of the physical experience will help with that quite a lot. Finally, very important point that I like to mention to vocalists when discussing posture and alignment. Posture and alignment are learning tools in that they help us to get in touch with the physical experiences of what proper expansion and retention of that expansion and proper engagement and what it feels like to maintain that engagement are like. So it helps us to increase our awareness around support and around our posture, and that awareness informs us as to how it works. Ultimately, when you are singing, we want to have the freedom of movement. Freedom of movement is part of our expression tools, part of our expressivity while we are on stage. So alignment and posture for us isn't necessarily something that is what we set and stay in. It is a dynamic process. And ultimately, when you have practiced it and you've come to terms with how alignment helps you support your voice, you will have the freedom to move around, the freedom to be in character if you're in theater, or if you're a rock and roller and you've got the guitar and you want to do the big, I don't know if there's a name for that or not. When you do those things, you can still retain your engagement and retain your support. Singing is a dynamic exercise. What I mean by that is that we are flexible, we move. Being dynamic with our airflow and dynamic with our engagement is what ultimately helps us get the absolute most from our voices.
Most of us know that we have to open our mouths to make room for our voice when we sing. But there's actually a wrong and a right way that you can open your mouth. So today I'm going to give you a quick tip to help you use proper jaw posture when you sing. Hi singers, my name is Rania Peterson and I'm here to geek out on your voice. So when you open your jaw properly, there's room for the sound to bounce around and your vocal folds can stretch freely. But when you open your jaw the wrong way, it pulls in your larynx or in your voice box and your vocal folds are not free to stretch. And this causes some singers to strain their voice. The way to check if you're dropping your jaw properly is to find out if your jaw bone right here, if you're in the jaw hinge, if it is popping out when you're opening your mouth, because that's the wrong way. The right way is to have your jaw drop down, sort of a weaker jaw right here, yeah? And now there's a cool trick to check this, a cool way to do this. So what you simply do is that you just take your middle fingers and your index fingers and you place one behind your jaw here and one over here on the jaw hinge. Now, if you're opening your jaw the wrong way, you'll feel it pop right here. Try it out. Also just to try how it feels. Yeah. But if you're opening your jaw the right way, it will push this finger back and there's no popping here. Try it out. Yeah, no pop here. Very nice. So that's a very simple trick. Try it out a few times. In my experience, most people, they know they are able to drop their jaw properly. But the problem is that we don't always think about it. So I suggest that you try and practice this with a vocal exercise and try and monitor it like this as you sing.
So today I want to go through the top 3 most common tensions that I see in singers, and I'm going to give you some exercises to help address them. So the first tension that I see so much of is jaw tension. So jaw tension is, when you start to feel like either your jaw is locking or it starts to kind of maybe hurt or bother you in here, okay? So also, by the way, if you have trouble with your higher register, a likely culprit is that you're trying to grab and control the notes with your jaw, okay? So if the jaw is not free, then your ability to stretch your soft palate and create that oh so important inside resonance space is compromised. So that soft palate stretch is necessary to access your upper register successfully and also to access the most optimum resonance no matter where you are in your voice. And so if you think about your soft palate is, you know your soft palate is like hard palate right there, soft palate, like behind it, okay? So when we're teaching singers how to optimize for their most powerful focused resonance, one of the things that we teach them how to do is to be able to shift and expand and change the shape of their soft palate. But you can't do that if your jaw's not free, and here's why. Because the muscles that connect on the inside of the jaw, the muscles around the temporomandibular, the muscles in the TMJ area, right? On the inside, they connect to your soft palate. So if you are, the more locked and the more controlled your jaw is, the less free your jaw is, the less that you can expand into your soft palate for the most focused resonance, and the less you can expand into your soft palate to get into the higher parts of your range. So to that end, we really want to have a soft, free, released, fluid jaw when singing. Now, I don't want you to mistake this for me telling you that your jaw shouldn't move, because that's the opposite of this, right? We don't want, okay, so yeah, maybe we have some open space, but that's a locked and a tense jaw, and that's going to create tension here, which makes your soft palate stuck, and you can't. Versus if you have a soft jaw and these muscles are nice and soft and released, then the muscles in the soft palate can expand and stretch in the way that we want. So for this exercise, what I want you to do is I want you to find a really soft, easy smile, and then I want you to let your jaw hang in a smile. So that's what this would be a soft, easy smile, and then let your jaw hang. Okay? This is what I call the clueless smile. It kind of like from that movie Clueless, you guys remember from the 90s with Alicia Silverstone, and she's like, duh, oh my God, Cher, oh my God, is a clueless, dumb jaw, okay? Find a smile, let your jaw hang. Now, remember, when we talk about the jaw, we're really just talking about the 2 hinges on either side of your, in front of your ears here, okay? I don't want you to mistake the jaw for your chin. This is your chin. This is not your jaw, okay? So when we talk about releasing the jaw, what we're talking about is releasing this hinge, okay? So find an easy smile. Allow this hinge to soften. And the feeling is going to be one of the jaw just kind of hanging down and back as you smile. Okay? I don't want you to hold your jaw in this position. Okay? That's not free and soft. You are to release in this position. It should feel free and soft and kind of hanging dangly. So you're going to keep this energy of the easy smile by feeling your ears widening away from each other. Okay, and then you're going to alternate by within this easy, soft, released space that you've created with your jaw. You're going to alternate by chanting ya, 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 and then la, la, la. So you're just going to do it on speech first. Ya, 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 la, la, la. Ya, 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 la, la, la. And then connect them. Ya, 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 la, 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 ya, 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 la, la, la. And you want the tongue to be doing the work of moving to change the vowels and consonants, not your jaw. So we need the tongue and the jaw to be able to move independently of one another. So if you are doing this, ya, 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 la, 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 ya, la, if every time your tongue moves, your jaw moves, you're in grabbing, and that's going to create a lot of tension. So what we're doing is we're teaching the jaw to be soft, and that we don't need the jaw to make sound. Ya, 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 la, 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 ya, 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 la, la, la. Okay? So if you find your jaw locking or closing or moving up and down in tandem with the tongue as you change consonants and syllables, reset. Close your mouth, swallow, breathe into a smile, feel your ears widening, release your jaw hinge, and then do it again. Ya, 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 la, la, ya, 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 la, la, la. And doing this exercise in front of a mirror can be very helpful. So once you feel that consistency of being able to just in normal speech, be able to do ya, ya, la, la with, and let your jaw just hang and be soft while you do it, then you're going to put it on a pitch, and just one single pitch, and you're going to engage your breath support to do it. Ya, 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 la, 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 ya, 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 la, la, la. And then you're going to go up it. Ya, 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 la, 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 ya, 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 la, la, la. And then keep going through your range all the way up the scale. Ya, 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 la, 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 all the way into head voice. Ya, 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 la, la, la. Ya, 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 la, la, la. Ya, 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 la, la, la. So you see, I have my nice, easy smile. I have my soft jaw, and I'm using my tongue instead of my jaw to be able to do it. So what we're doing is we're conditioning the soft jaw. Okay. So that's a really great exercise to be able to release some jaw tension and be able to teach the body that you can make sound without the jaw, without tensing the jaw. The second most common tension is neck tension. So neck tension is most evident, like when you see singers, the tendons and the veins of the singer's neck are popping out when they're singing, especially on those big phrases and those high notes, okay? So when you see that, if you've watched a video of yourself, or if you see yourself in the mirror and you got the veins and the tendons popping out, okay, that is usually a key indicator that the singer has neck tension. And it also means is that it's usually a key indicator that the singer does not have a good handle on their breath support, because what they're trying to do is support and control the sound from here instead of the lower part of support. So when a singer cannot rely on the solidity and the consistency of their lower breath support, they instead try to control the air and the vibration with the muscles around their neck, which creates an enormous amount of tension in that area. And so this tension, it really negatively affects the resonance because it puts a squeeze around the larynx, as you can imagine. So singers with neck tension also often tend to suffer in their higher register because you need freedom to be able to sing in the higher register. And so what happens is as the pitch rises, so does the amount of tension in those neck muscles. They want to tense to help control and push the sound up. And so they do this because the singer has not learned how to correctly engage their lower support muscles to manage the rise in pitch effectively. And so it can be a vicious cycle because as long as the neck muscles are engaged in trying to control and manage and support the sound, the lower muscles of support will not take over and will never learn how to do their job. Because it's like, oh, this is doing it? Okay, those muscles of support are like, peace out. This guy's doing it. Cool, right? And so, but the thing is, your subconscious is never going to let those neck muscles release if it intrinsically doesn't trust your lower muscles of support to take over the support. And so therein lies the rub, right? Like you don't have the support to release this, but you're never going to release this because you don't trust that that support is going to be there to carry you. So what I found one exercise that really helps to break this vicious cycle. And it's very simple, and it's designed to be able to help your subconscious begin to trust that you don't need your neck muscles to make a good sound. Okay? I know your body is going to fight you on this, because if you have neck tension, it's been doing this for a really long time. So what we're going to do is we're going to create that trust. And how we're going to do that is, as you sing, you're going to turn your head gently from one side to the other, looking from one shoulder slowly over to the other shoulder. And you notice how I'm not stopping. I'm just gently moving continuously and slowly from one shoulder to the other, okay? So once you feel comfortable in that movement, as you're moving, you're going to begin to sing a simple descending 5-note scale on a ma while continuing to turn your head from side to side. So you're going to start turning first. Do not start singing and then start turning. No, you must turn first. So starting the movement, and then ma, and then go up a half step. Ma, and then go up a half step. Ma, and keep doing the exercise and keep going up and down, keep going up the scale all the way in to continue doing it in head voice. Ma, ma. Okay, so you're going to keep moving. Now, I want you to see if you can have someone watch you as you do this, to make sure that when you're singing, you're not doing two things. You're not either locking your head and your neck and your torso and moving them together as a unit, so that you're not doing this. Right? Like that's not, if you're doing that, then your neck is locking. You see? So square your shoulders and move, because your neck cannot be moving. Your head cannot be moving if your neck is locked. It just can't, okay? So what we're doing is we're freeing the neck. So have somebody watch you or video yourself to make sure that you're not thinking that you're moving, but really you're just moving your whole body as a block and continuing to lock your neck, okay? So that's the first thing to look out for. Because if the neck is soft and free, then the head can turn independently of the body, okay? Also have somebody watch you to let you know if you're getting stuck and you stop turning your head as the phrase begins, or at some part in the phrase. So what that would look like would be you're moving, and then you do this. Ma. Did you see? So I was moving, but then I stopped, ma, because I'm grabbing to start the phrase. Okay, so make sure that you have somebody watch you or you video yourself to make sure that you're not moving and then stopping to grab your neck without noticing it at a certain point in the phrase. Okay, so both of those things, if you are turning as a block or if you stop turning at a certain point and then keep going, those are both indicators that the neck has gone back into tension and back into its habits of grabbing and control. Because like I said, guys, it's impossible to tense or lock your neck if you're continuously turning your head from side to side. So in doing this exercise, what we're doing is you're actually taking away the security blanket that's been supporting your sound. Because this is the thing that you have been relying on to help you feel safe in controlling this sound. So in moving your head and you can't lock your neck anymore, we're taking away that security blanket of what you've been using to support, and then you'll really see where you are with your actual lower support. So as you do this, if you start to notice that it's harder to sing, or that the sound becomes weaker or more airy or whatever, okay, now you're seeing the gap in the efficiency of the lower support because it's not taking over. So you've disabled the security blanket, but the thing that should be contributing and supporting the sound hasn't kicked in yet. Okay. So what it's going to do is it's going to force you to farther engage that lower support, because the neck will no longer be able to engage in its absence. Okay. And so once you feel that lower support kicking in and your subconscious realizes that, oh my God, I don't need my neck to make a good sound, I don't need to control it from up here, then over time, You begin to trust that your body can let your neck go. You begin to trust you can let this go, even when you're not turning your head, and still a good sound will still come out, okay? So now let's talk about the third most common tension, which is tongue tension. And so tongue tension, in my experience, tongue tension results most often when a singer feels the need to change the timbre of their sound so that it sounds bigger, stronger, more beefy, or whatever they determine as better inside their head. So when they're doing that, they're creating this manipulation with their tongue so that it sounds a certain way that they really like inside their head. And when they're doing that, it may sound great to them in their head, but out here to the audience, it sounds covered, it sounds pressed, it sounds overly darkened, and it sounds inauthentic. But more than anything, it's actually really unsustainable over time because it will fatigue your voice and can really contribute to vocal injury, like nodes, like vocal hemorrhage, things like that. Because the tongue, the root of the tongue here, it's very strong muscle, okay? And we don't realize how much it can interfere if we're not aware of it. So, so most often, tongue tension, it manifests in the root of the tongue muscle contracting backwards and bearing down the throat onto the larynx and putting an undue amount of pressure on the vocal folds as they attempt to freely vibrate, which they can no longer do. They cannot freely vibrate because they have this thing pushing on it. But it can make the sound inside your head feel like it's something that is more beefy, more strong, or whatever, but out here it just doesn't sound good, and it can be really damaging to vocal folds in the long run. So what I want you to understand is the sound that often you can get by bearing down with the lower, the base and the root of the tongue. It's very like, like you hear all this, that's a very manufactured, there's a lot of tongue tension in there. And so the way you can feel, because you may not realize you have tongue tension, you might be so used to it. So here's something you can do to, number one, identify and feel if you are singing with tongue tension. So first, you're gonna make a thumbs up gesture like this. And you're gonna take your thumb, you're gonna gently place your thumb right under your jaw in the soft tissue area, kind of behind your chin. Okay, you see where I am? So I have this part here. And I'm not pressing up too much, but I'm just pressing a little bit into that muscle there, which is the root of my tongue. And so you're gonna rest your tongue there, and I want you to swallow. And you'll feel the root of the tongue move down as you swallow, because it's that part of the tongue's job to move food down your esophagus, okay? So you'll feel it when you swallow, just so you can feel it. So you're gonna rest your tongue there, and you're gonna allow the tongue to just be there, and I want you to just notice it. And I want you to sing something, a piece of your repertoire, like something that you sing all the time, whatever that is. And as you sing, I want you to use this as kind of like a sensor to notice if you bear down and you push down with your tongue, you'll feel it pushing on your thumb, okay? And so what we're gonna do is you're gonna rest your thumb there. And if you feel that you use your tongue a lot in bearing down, this is going to create some awareness around it, and we're going to help shift it. So what I want you to do is I want you to feel like your tongue muscle is just softening and melting down around your thumb. Like let it feel really soft, like it's just melting and dripping down around your thumb, okay? Then you're going to just do a simple descending 5-note scale on and off, up and down. No, you just put an M in front of it, maybe do ma. Ma. Okay, so if you sing with a lot of tongue tension, you will feel your tongue contracting and hardening and bearing down around where your thumb is. So use your thumb as a reminder that the tongue does not need to do so much work. Okay, let the tongue soften around your finger as you vibrate up and down the scale. Do it again. Ma. Do it in your head voice. Ma. Okay, you may feel some vibration under your thumb. That's normal. It's not always completely still there, but you should not feel any hardness or any pressing down or any bearing down on your thumb while you are singing. If you feel that, reset, swallow, and then visualize your tongue softening and melting around your thumb and try again. And so at first your sound might feel, while you're doing this, it might feel smaller, it might feel less resonant or less powerful to you. And that's okay, because you've been using this bearing down to try to create a beefier sound that sounds that way in your head, but just doesn't sound good out here. So let the sound be what it is, okay? The way to be more resonant and find a richer sound is by strengthening the lower support and the shape of your resonance, and in either place, which is not here, but in either place around that, okay? So engaging those things more, engaging and strengthening the lower support, engaging that energy and stretch of the shape of your resonance in your soft palate will enable you to have a much more powerful resonant sound without needing to bear down on the tongue and creating all this tension in your tongue to get it, okay?
Today we're going to do some vocal warm-ups to release tongue and jaw tension. Adverse tension in the throat and jaw and tongue can really impact singing. So let's do some exploration and some vocal exercises. Alignment is vital to singing well so that we can have a sturdy but relaxed instrument. Take a few natural breaths and sigh out. Do a quick body scan to look for and release any tension that isn't needed, with extra attention today to the neck, jaw, and tongue. We're going to start today by vibrating the lips, like a lip trill with no tone, just air. This exercise allows us to have breath engagement while also staying relaxed. So keep working on this if it's hard for you. Try it a couple more times. Our goal is not to have a big sputter at the beginning. With that sense of airflow, let's add pitch and sing. Now, if you need to switch to a tongue trill or a gentle hum, you can do that instead. Here we go. Say the word sing. Sing. We're going to use that NG sound at the end for the next vocal exercise. To avoid excess tension, I'd recommend leaving the mouth open a bit, like rather than Remember that air goes through the nose on this exercise. We're going to glide like Let's explore a few gentle sighs now. We want our singing to feel a little bit more like sighing. Keep it really easy. Again. And notice with curiosity what moves and what doesn't move when we sigh out. Now we're going to add a slight chewing motion to the sigh. This helps us understand that moving the jaw and the tongue are independent of the pitch. Now, allowing the face to lift and the jaw to swing freely, let's sing on ah, like ma 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 With that same feeling of ease, let's just focus on moving the tip of the tongue as we sing on loo-lee loo, like loo-lee 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 loo. 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 Before we go any further, I wanted to make sure that you know about my vocal warm-up app called Vocal Warmups with Kathleen. It's available for all mobile platforms, it's super easy to use, and has a ton of my best vocal warm-up exercises. The links are below. Thank you for your support. We know that sometimes our tongue likes to help us in ways that aren't always helpful. This next exercise might feel a little bit odd, but it's great. Go ahead and stick out your tongue. Just a little bit over your lower lip and let it sit there. It's important that it's not bunching up or pulling back. That's specifically what we're trying to avoid with this exercise. If that's hard for you, you can gently hold your tongue out of your mouth with a lint-free cloth. In this relaxed position, we can try singing just about anything. Today we're going to sing on an interval of a fifth and then descend on a pentascale. Our goal is to make sure we're avoiding any excess tension. The exercise looks and sounds like this. You might want to breathe through your nose on this one, but do whatever feels most comfortable. Here we go. Continuing now with the idea of keeping the jaw and tongue relaxed and well coordinated, we're going to sing on fa-e. The pattern is fa-i-i-i-i. The tongue and the jaw move together, and we're singing two distinct vowels, fa and e, not fi-i-i-i. Here we go. Fi-i-i-i-i. 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 Now let's take this relaxation into a little bit more of a challenging feat. Let's sing fla fla ningy ningy ni on the following pattern. Fla fla ningy ningy ni. 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 Keep your focus on a relaxed sighing feeling as we descend on the sounds tho-a-i-a-o. We want those sounds to glide together like tho-a-i-a-o, 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 Finally, we're going to move to a full octave arpeggio on va. We'll sing va 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 va. Here we go. Va 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 va. 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 Va 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 va.
Having adequate breath support is very important to have a clear, strong voice. Why? It's because air is what powers the voice as the air moves out of the lungs between the vocal cords, causing them to vibrate. If there's insufficient air, then the voice will be weak no matter how perfectly the voice box is working. As a corollary, that also means if not enough air enters the lungs, then not enough air will leave the lungs either. Abdominal or diaphragmatic breathing is required to achieve good lung volume of air. Also known as belly breathing, the diaphragm muscle is activated moving downward into the belly with inhalation. This causes the belly to push outward. In contrast to belly breathing, chest breathing, also known as thoracic breathing, moves the ribcage instead of the belly. With chest breathing, less air flows into the lungs, resulting in short, quick, and shallow breaths. Belly breathing is slow and deep. Belly breathing is also more energy efficient as it only requires diaphragm muscle movement. Chest breathing uses chest muscles to inflate the lungs by pulling on the ribcage, which is more energy intensive. Here are some exercises to help achieve good belly breathing to help your voice be strong and clear. First, have a good posture. The back should be straight, shoulders should be down, and the head is in a neutral position with the chin parallel to the floor. Next, place one hand on the belly and the other on the chest. Identifying proper belly breathing is very simple. You will see the belly bulge during this action. Keep making deep inhalations and exhalations as you focus on keeping the chest still. Only the belly should move. Once you have mastered this, try laying down on the floor and placing a book on the belly. Inhale deeply and focus on trying to make the book move as high as possible while keeping the chest still. Hold the breath for 5 seconds, then exhale. Do this exercise for 5 to 10 minutes. Now, try the same thing again, but standing up while holding a book against the belly. This may be challenging, but keep practicing until you get it. For the next exercise, make a fist and place it on your lips so that your index finger and thumb face your mouth. Now try sucking air through your fist in a motion that comes all the way from your belly. Try it a few times, varying how tightly you close your fist. You should feel your stomach going outward quickly. Next, when exhaling, make an S sound for as long as you can. Make sure there is no chest movement. Throughout your day, constantly focus on always performing belly breathing whether talking or not. The goal is for this to become second nature.
This exercise involves a piece of paper and a wall, and the aim is to strengthen breath control by producing a consistent flow of air. So I'm going to demonstrate first with Lucy over here. We quite often use this as a game, a warm-up game at the beginning of a session, so it's ideal for a group of people as well as an individual. So Lucy, if you turn around and face the wall with your little piece of paper, stand about just a few inches away from the wall is really nice, and you're going to hold both fingers on the edges of the piece of paper. Now, it's really important that the paper is right in front of your mouth, because if it's too high, you're going to blow it up. If it's too low, you're going to blow it down. Now, take just a little closer, and maybe bring the paper down so it's right. If you were going to kiss it, it would need to be, that's lovely. Now, we're going to take a really nice big breath in. Obviously, we're going to go back to feet, hips, heart, head, really lifting up. We're going to inhale for 4, and then you're going to start to blow on your piece of paper. Once you feel you've got a consistent stream of air, I want you to take your fingers away. The aim then is to hold the paper on the wall, just using your breath, for as many as possible, but we'll go for 5, okay? So, feet, hips, heart, head, nice, lifted. And let's inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. Off you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well done! Excellent. So now we're going to try it together. We quite often in class will start this off and we'll have competitions and see how long we can carry on. It's not always the singers who get to the highest number. So here we go. Exhale. Inhale. Drop the jaw. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off we go. Lean a little. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop. Well done. Tomorrow. Well done. Should we try again? Yes? Who got up to 2? Who didn't get anywhere? So, making sure that if it's too high, you'll blow it up. If it's too low, you'll blow it down. You want an absolute constant stream of air onto the paper to hold it in place.
Friends, today we will be focusing on singing exercises to help coordinate breath and build breath control. I want to acknowledge that the concept of breath support is hard to define and even harder to talk about. I find that if the phrase is used without great care and explanation, that it can often lead to undue tension. That being said, I like to think about breath through the lens of coordination and efficiency. Our instruments can work very efficiently once we have proper control and coordination, and once we discover how much air is and isn't needed to sing. So let's jump in with some breath work and some vocal exercises that will help us work on these concepts, always trying to remain as relaxed as possible while engaging proper muscles. I'd like to invite you to stand as works for you to maintain flexibility as you work. First of all, let's take a moment to align ourselves. Really allow your skeleton to play a supporting role. In general, we tend to either jut out our chins or hunch forward. So take a moment to open up and find a natural, balanced position for your head. Go ahead and release the tension in your jaw and tongue, maybe in your neck and shoulders, and find kind of that bobble-headed place where the head really wants to rest on top of the spine. Let's start by slowly sipping air in, as if through a straw. Be mindful that as we inhale, we should feel expansion around our midsection, as well as in our lower ribs. Exhale naturally and do it a few more times. Let's be mindful that our shoulders don't shrug up as we work. We really want to relax into a low breath. Now, let's engage in a breath clutch to feel the correct muscles work. Say the word hook with a bit of power. Hook. This is, of course, an exaggerated movement. While singing, it won't feel quite so violent. But we are, again, working on coordination. So we'll do the following exercise. We'll say hook twice and then sing. Hook, hook, hook. Try it. Hook, hook, hook. Hook, hook, hook. Hook, hook, Now let's move to the following exercise. We're going to sing hum, 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 hum. We want to engage that same hook feeling as before, but now we will continue to sustain that feeling throughout the exercise. Try it. Hum, 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 Take a moment to double check your alignment and check for tension. I quite like this next exercise, which can be used for a lot of different goals. I've spoken about it before as a mixed register exercise and also as a vowel resonance exercise. But this time we're going to extend it and use it to coordinate and monitor breath. We will do 6 cycles of the following. We're going back and forth between he and ah, like this. Feel free to use your fingers to keep track of where you are in the cycle. relax and breathe normally. Ultimately, we want to connect with a very natural breath as we sing. Remember that some of these exercises purposefully provide an exaggerated breath movement or pattern. So for this next exercise, we will sing on a staccato ki, ke, ki, ke, ki. In this particular case, since we're working on breath coordination, let's take some time in between notes and pulse them. So I'm allowing for a very slight recovery inhalation in between notes, primarily for the purpose of practicing the turnaround between the inhalation and the exhalation. Let's try it. Ki, ke. Ki, ke, ki, ke, ki. 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 Finally, let's have some fun and use breath to bring us up and over into a higher range. I like to call this exercise the pretentious pirate exercise. We will sing yo ho ho in kind of a formal style with lots of space. In this particular case, I'd like you to really think about pulsing the breath to engage and coordinate our breathing muscles. It sounds like this. Yo ho 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 ho, go! Yo ho 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 ho, 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 yo ho 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 And a big sigh down. Relaxing into a recovery breath and releasing any tension that may have crept in.